of loyalty you may have towards one team or the other, obscene, demeaning, or inappropriate cheers or taunts directed toward athletes, officials, coaches, or fans have no place in high school sports. Any spectator not displaying appropriate behavior will be asked to leave. Our athletes are proud to play this game they love and serve a fans that are important to us. They will do their best not to disappoint you. Please do not disappoint them. Thanks for your support. And now the starting lineup for the visiting fourth-seeded Cary-Grove Trojans and winners of the Anthem Regional. Leading off and playing center field, number 19, Jacob Duval. Batting second, number 17, and playing left field, Keenan Chris. Batting third, number 28, the first baseman, Brock Iverson. Batting cleanup, number 9, the second baseman, Ricky Barnes. Batting fifth, number 23, the right fielder, Oscar Boyne. Batting sixth and playing catcher, number 7, Francis Taco. Batting seventh and playing third base, number 24, Evan Brandimore. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 8, Peyton Seberg. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 4, Charlie Patsky. Starting on the mound for the Trojans will be the right-handed pitcher, number 11, Hayden Norman. The Trojans are coached by Kyle Williams. Chris Williams is assisted by Matt Sutherland and LJ Waco. Good luck to the Trojans today. And now your home team on the scoreboard, the third-seeded Crystal Lake South Gators, winners of their own Crystal Lake South Regional. Leading off for the Gators will be the shortstop, number 33, Carson Cipollini. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 26, Nolan Dabrowski. Batting third, number 15, the third baseman, Yandel Ramirez. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 2, Liam Sullivan. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 24, Jackson Lee. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 11, Christian Alter. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 45, Nick Sawato. Starting at first base and batting eighth will be number 22, Dane Chalk. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 4, Zander Shurchenko. Starting on the mound for the Gators will be number 29, the left-handed pitcher, Devin Deloach. The Gators are coached by Brian Baca. Coach Baca is assisted by Mark Chapek, Tom Metzler, Scott Whistler, and Nick Benedito. The officials for today's game are at third base, Bob Napoleon. Our first base umpire will be Bill Orris, and behind the plate calling balls and strikes will be Ben Winkleman. These individuals are registered by the Illinois High School Association. Their experience and integrity qualify them to administer the rules of the game. We would also like to thank our sideline help today. We always have outstanding athletic training coverage at all of our athletic events, from athletical physical therapy. Those people that perform the medical coverage for us are GCHS athletic trainer Glenn Gertie and Emily Price, as well as our outstanding student athletic trainer. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of our national anthem. Today's national anthem will be sung by first base umpire Bill Orris. songs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Schwa Media Sports on YouTube for the Class 3A Grays Lake Sectional Championship here in high school baseball in Illinois, alongside former high school baseball player here in the land of Lincoln.
This is Ryan Contreras-Betts. My name is Luke Jordan. Happy to be with you as always. And Ryan, these are two teams that are plenty familiar with each other, both playing in the Fox Valley Conference. Third meeting between the two of the season.
Yeah, I mean, they're familiar with each other, and as anyone knows, if you've ever played any competitive sports, the more you see a lineup, the more you get used to their habits, the more you get used to their tendencies, the more you see their arms, and that's going to be a key thing to see who jumps first on the starting pitchers here this afternoon.
And how about Mark Pakla, pitcher of the last game for Crystal Lake South? Complete game shutout for his Gators to advance over the St. Viator lines to get to the spot on the other end. Cary-Grove had an upset of their own. The number one Prairie Ridge Wolves went down to the Trojans thanks to Charlie Taxi's incredible piece.
Yeah, I mean, Taxi pitched absolutely phenomenally. UIC commit. He's also going to be DHing here today. What I've noticed just from looking at all of their lineups has just been the incredible use of small ball. They're not a powerful team, and that's what they saw just the other day. They won a tight one, and it was mainly off the use of their small ball.
And for Crystal Lake South, defensively, 2 of their 3 playoff games, they have not allowed multiple runs. That is with an outlier where they allowed 7 runs to Crystal Lake Central. They were down 3-1 in that game, eventually came back against their rivals. One more win, they found themselves here. Starting pitcher for Crystal Lake South today is the junior Devin DeLoach. That is ready to deal. Lefty with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-pitch arsenal with a changeup and slider as well. Jacob Duvall, senior center fielder, is ready to go, but it seems that DeLoach is not. He'll get some chirps from the Cary-Grove dugout, immediately calling his time.
I mean, it looks like there's a pitch comm issue. Pitch comm, one of the new things being used in high school sports, and already before a pitch is thrown, you could tell that definitely fires up the dugout for Cary-Grove.
And you yourself as a former pitcher, do you feel like that would affect you on the bump? Just having that miscue already before you even throw a pitch? Are you losing trust?
Quite honestly, I don't think I am. I mean, if you're experienced and you're pitching in a big moment, you're not going to let a minor thing rattle you, but pitchers are a weird creature. You know, we're creatures of habit, and sometimes when that habit gets disrupted, it throws off our whole game.
Not an easy batter he's facing as well. Jacob Duvall, entering the sectional semifinals, was batting nearly .370. And now here we go on the lefty on lefty. Bunt shown, it's down the pipe for a strike to open things up.
Looked like he went with a breaking ball first pitch, trying to change it up.
Oh, 0-1 DeLoach in the dirt. Cary-Grove 23-12, 11-7 in the Fox Valley Conference. That was 4th, just behind them by a singular game. 10-8 in conference play were the Gators. These two teams split FVC play, should I say. This one flown out into center. Tracking on it is Stowasser, and he cannot make the catch. Duvall's gonna stay at second base. And Cary-Grove taking advantage of a misfortune on the Gators' defensive end.
I mean, it didn't look like he lined that up very well. You know, the wind is blowing right to left here, so it's blowing out to left field. he seemed to not really get a good read on that ball. He seemed to be floating under it for a few seconds. Just went in and out of the glove. When you talk about a series of miscues, first some pitch comm issues and then an early error, not the start you want if you're Crystal Lake South.
Keenan Krish now to the plate. Looks at ball one. Loach checks back to Duvall and then throws a strike. 1-1 now. Cary-Grove winning the most recent between these two teams, 8-1, but previous to that, just 3 days prior, the Gators won 11-1. Not a close game between these two yet, although close statistically. Krish awaits the 2-1. Into the shallow outfield. Calling for it is Sullivan. He makes the catch, and Duvall stays at second.
Now Cary-Grove brings up one of their hottest hitters in Brock Iverson. He's batting .444 here in the postseason. He's been one of their more consistent. He's also got a .538 on-base percentage.
Iverson steps out.
Late time called there.
Very late. You don't see it that late that often.
Yeah, surprise home plate umpire gave him time right there.
Hard-hitting senior awaits the first pitch and hits it right up the gap. Duvall's got around third. He's headed home. Throw to the plate is cut off, and Cary-Grove has an early lead. RBI single for Brock Iverson.
It's his fourth of the postseason right there, and right away Cary-Grove takes the lead. Crystal Lake South has not gotten settled in yet. We haven't seen a first pitch strike yet to either batter. We've already seen one error, and now an RBI single.
Now here's the second baseman, Ricky Barnes. Recently committed to Illinois College. Shows bunt. It's in the dirt and gets away from Lee. Iverson will get a free bag.
That's 3 straight first pitch off speed, 3 straight sliders, I believe, he's thrown on the first pitch to the batters. He hasn't landed a single one for a strike yet either. And it's already going to be an early mound visit.
And Crystal Lake South, through complete game shutout last game, 1 out in, has already allowed a run. Brian Bogda will come out. 18th year head coach. Quite the difference between these two coaches. As Kyle Williams in his first year of head coaching at Varsity Experience, and there you get the stats. One's got a lot of wins, one's just building his resume.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Williams, he played college baseball a couple of different places. He started out at Millikan University, then went to McHenry County College, finished his career at North Park. He was a very solid college baseball player as well. He was a former commercial banker. You know, reading up on him, he decided last year to be a volunteer. As you can see here, the Cary-Grove dugout getting loud and leads to a first pitch up and in. Already the mind game's getting going here. Don't hear the Crystal Lake dugout either.
And you know, it's not the first time between these two. Almost near animal noises coming from the Trojans dugout. Here's the 2-0, and that's high.
Same spot as the last pitch. He cannot find a release point there. He seems to be flying open on every single pitch. And then when he tries to overcorrect on his breaking ball, he's spiking it in the dirt.
Iverson on second off of a wild pitch. Barnes awaits the 3-0. Right down the middle for a strike. 3-1. Just a singular out so far. Recorded by Devin Deloach and his defense. Trying to crawl back in this count. 3-1. Into shallow center, pacing on it was Alter, but he can't make the play. Runners now on the corners.
I mean, that's what we'd call, if we're using wood bats, a broken bat single up the middle. Little floater, just couldn't get there, was the second baseman. Now you've got runners on the corners with only one out.
Into shallow center, pacing on it was Alter, but he can't make the play. Runners now on the corners.
Junior Oscar Freund. Runners on the corners here for Cary-Grove. First pitch taken for a strike. Talk about that small ball, Ryan. This is a team batting .315 entering the sectional semifinals. That's as a team average.
I mean, they say you're not a good high school baseball player if you're not batting at least .300 in the starting lineup. That is the harsh reality of high school varsity baseball when you get to that level, and especially when you get to the playoffs. If you're not batting .300, well, you better figure something out real quick.
Runner goes, and now he's in a pickle. Barnes, now a throw home, and that's the play. Got him! Intelligent play by the Arizona Christian commit, Kristen Alter.
Not getting, that was a designed play right there. You know, try to get picked off over at first base, try to get into a rundown, have one of your speedy runners at third break for the plate. But Crystal Lake South, I mean, we've all practiced this. If you've played high school ball, you've spent hours working on your first and third rundown drills. He didn't give up. He held the ball. He didn't make too rash of a throw. I mean, you saw only one throw for the pickle and then one throw to the plate.
Barnes does advance to second. That's the least of the Gators' worries. Now just one out away from only allowing one run, which seemed it could have been many out of the gate for Cary-Grove. Deloach checks back to second and now fires. Swing and a miss.
Had a lot of tail on that one. Started on the outside half of the plate, have to take a hack at it, and it just cut away to the outside batter's box.
One, two, runner goes, throw to third is well high. And here comes Barnes on his way home. It's 2-0 Cary-Grove.
See, that's a mistake there by Jackson Lee. At that point, Barnes had the base. You don't throw down to third because you don't want to cost yourself a run unless you know you're going to get him. He was safe before the ball even was in his mitt, and he airmailed that one by a good 40 feet. You know, it's possible for the catcher to be rattled too by pitch comm errors. I mean, the catcher has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
And still in the active count, 2-2 with 2 outs. Foul back. You've seen a lot of high school baseball. This is probably one of the more interesting starts you've seen. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
I was going to say, believe it or not, this is kind of an average start to a game. I've seen many playoff games even start this way. Teams are just not fully settled in, especially for those Saturday morning games. For whatever reason, Saturday morning games show you the most errors, the weirdest things you've ever seen on a ball field.
That's what we've seen so far. Now it's Crystal Lake's turn to play offense when we return here on Schwa Media.
Welcome back here for the bottom of the first inning here. Caden Norman getting ready to take the mound. He had 7 appearances this season, 22 in the third innings, had a 2.51 ERA and a 1.3 whip. Norman also pitched the other day against Antioch. He had a strong start. He went 5 innings, allowing 7 hits, only 2 runs, 6 strikeouts to 3 walks. He's clearly their number 2 guy, getting a big start here today.
Yeah, no kidding. And Charlie Taxi, who they used last game, committed a UIC to pitch. He will be DHing. We haven't seen him yet. But for Crystal Lake South, batting-wise, it's the same order as 2 days ago in that sectional semifinal win against St. Viator. Trevelini, Dabrowski, and Ramirez top of the order. They had 5 hits combined between the 3. And Trevelini, the sophomore, takes low ball 1. Norman, similar speed to Deloach, as well as a 3-pitch arsenal. Just change out Deloach's slider for a curveball. This one is grounded to second, fielded cleanly by Barnes, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Caden Norman, according to PBR, he's class of 2026. He's 6'2", 188 pounds. They basically say it's all controlled. He keeps in line at the plate, so he has good mechanics. So definitely there's room for improvement, too, on the velocity, you know, if he tops out at 84, sitting 81 to 84. Has a lot of arm side run, it says. So that's good for a righty. You know, the more run you can get on your fastball, the better.
This one hit hard to first base. And a job well done by Brock Iverson, who does it on its own.
Good communication there from Iverson, too. You know, Norman got a little bit of a late break to the bag. So a little PFP early on.
And Sam Schwartz, our producer, and I saw this back on Thursday. Both teams, more importantly St. Viator, but a lot of first pitch swinging approaches, and we're seeing that early on.
I mean, that's a very common approach in high school ball nowadays, and it's not a foolish one. I mean, that's why you're probably seeing over on the other side, you know, first pitch off speed, trying to change up that, hey, we know they're going to be out attacking, swinging early.
It's a good point because that's just about all St. Viator did last game.
You know, Norman does have an interesting arm angle, too. He drops, like, not exactly 3/4, maybe a little bit of a lower than a 3/4 slot.
Yandel Ramirez, quite a game he had last time around. 2 for 3 with a walk, including one of the game's only extra base hits. got a 2-1 count now. His team down 2-0. Norman trying to go 1-2-3. As the righty fires. And this is sent into left field. It will drop to Krish, and it's a single for Yandel Ramirez. And that will bring up Liam Sullivan. I saw it, you heard it earlier. He was getting his arm taped up, and you know why.
Yeah, he was explaining to the trainer earlier today, you know, he slid into second base sometime last week, got a cut. He's just trying to protect himself, make sure no dirt gets into it. I mean, not much you can do when you're out on the ball field. You'll get dirt everywhere, especially when you come home in your car. There's no escaping it at some point.
First pitch outside. Sullivan committed to Loras College out in Iowa.
One of my former teammates, Cooper Breiler, played at Loras College this past year.
One-0 to Sullivan. Hit foul.
Outfield shaded mostly normal, except for center field, shading over to left field.
Now they did win 4-0, but still 8 men left on base in the last game versus St. Viator. Try not to strand one already. 1-1, 2 outs. Check back to first. Plenty of pickoffs in the Gators' previous game with the Lions on both sides as well. Here comes the 1-1. Off speed outside.
I mean, PBR describes his curveball as having more slider movement, and that's definitely what we've seen here. I've had to catch myself trying to call it a slider several times here in the early going.
They'll look back to Ramirez again. No worries for the senior creeping off of first base.
I mean, Ramirez has to be, according to the scouting report that they have, one of the speedier players. He's not got too big of a lead either.
2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to number 2, Liam Sullivan, his team down 2. Head nod, check back to first. And now Norman fires. Down the right field foul line, pacing on it is Freund, diving in foul territory, can't make the grab. A close call. Sullivan stays alive.
Yeah, new life for Sullivan. That was a great diving effort out there in right field. He had a long ways to run.
So we'll try the 2-2 again. And this one is hit hard out into center field. Duvall cannot make the grab. Ramirez is going to be sent home. And meanwhile, Sullivan's already at third base. He's going to be held. And they have cut the Trojan lead in half.
Wow, we've already seen one error in center field both ways. Duvall had a great break on that ball. I mean, I thought he read that ball perfectly off the bat. You know, line drives are so hard to see, especially out in center field. He timed it up perfectly, and for whatever reason, Ball just went in and out of his mitten. It redirected out into right field almost. Gave plenty of time for the speed of Sullivan to make it all the way to third. Now we've got ourselves a one-run ball game and the tying run 90 feet away.
Both errors in center field, too. .71 and cloudy here in Grayslake, Illinois.
It's a good day for hitters. Ball should be traveling well. You know, wind blowing out to left field, it looks like right now, according to the flagpole.
And this one hit to short. Should be an easy play, and that it is. So Crystal Lake South strands a runner 90 feet away, but nonetheless, they've got it to a one-run game. We're one inning through. 2-1 Trojans. Still 6 to go. Welcome back to Schwa Media Sports. Sam Schwartz, our producer. My name is Luke Jordan alongside Ryan Contreras Betts. As we take a look at the current bracket. As you see there, the winner of this game will take the winner of DePaul Prep and St. Patrick that is currently going on right now.
Currently a 1-0 lead for St. Patrick in the top of the second inning, as we just checked moments ago.
All chalk over there. Over here, we've got a 3 versus 4 seeded matchup. And there's been no seed lower than 4 that has made the sectional finals. The 2 4 seeds are Cary-Grove and then Peyton, a high school out of Chicago.
Well, some breaking development as we just saw in the field. Devin Deloche finally threw a first pitch strike. His first of the afternoon so far. Maybe he's finally starting to find something on the mound.
Sure looks like it. There's strike 2. Francis Penko, pardon me.
Yeah, we were just discussing, you know, during the break how he looked a little rough in the bullpen, as I saw earlier today, and he had a rough warm-up in between this inning, but...
How's that? 3-pitch strikeout to start the second inning for Deloche.
Seemed to have a little bit of the velocity that he was missing last half inning back, too. Some good tail on that fastball, high and outside. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. We got 1 out here.
Back-to-back strikeouts swinging. And here's Evan Frangemore. Frangemore, part of the senior infield, plays third base. A very veteran team, per se, in the realm of high school baseball. 7 out of the 9 on the starting lineup are seniors. And the 2 who aren't, well, they're juniors. An upperclassman lineup. Crystal Lake South, a tad younger. They got sophomore Nick Stowasser, who's also a stud on the basketball team out in center, as well as Trevelini at shortstop. Frangemore waits the 2-1. Here it is. There's another pitch that swung on and missed by Cary-Grove.
I mean, they're out to attack. They saw how Deloche didn't look too hot in his first half inning of work, so they're looking to get on the board again.
Deloche can get the K here. That's 3 consecutive. Here it comes. Count now full. Peyton Seberg, shortstop. Number 8, hitting number 8 in the order, is on deck. Full count delivery. Another swing and a miss. It looks like it might have been foul tipped into the mid, actually. Either way, 3 straight for Deloche.
Took a little off, threw the changeup, got him to just swing over top of it. Brings up Seberg. Seberg is one of the interesting players that I really want to highlight. You know, he had a rough start his first 2 games, was 0 for 5 and had 3 errors against Antioch. His first pitch is cut on and missed. But then he bounced back against Prairie Ridge, had a 2 for 3 outing. He's a 2-sport athlete. He's a 3-year starter at quarterback. Has some very solid stats there.
And Cary-Grove is not a football team to be messed with. Haven't been the last couple years. 1-1 from Deloche. Foul back.
Seberg's on that one. He fouled that one straight back. Wouldn't be surprised to see changeup here from Deloche.
That one got the top of the mask of Lee before headed back to the screen. 1-2, 2 outs. This to strike out the side. Oh, Deloche started to walk off the bump. He thought he got a frozen strikeout. Won't happen.
He went fastball there, beating my expectations, and it looked like he had the outside corner of the plate too.
He'll try again. Quickly come back and fire the 2-2. And this one is hit hard along the left field foul line, and it drops fair. Seberg will head for second base, and he's in there with a standing double.
Possibly finding a groove back in his swing is Seberg. That's a double in back-to-back games for him.
And now here's Charlie Taxi. Pitched in the last game through all 7 against Prairie Ridge.
I mean, he's their ace, the UIC commit. He's been their workhorse too all season long.
Boy, is that a nice field too. Nice job there by Lee to not let that ball pass.
And he's no slouch at the plate either. I mean, he's hit 429 in this postseason. He's got 3 hits, all singles, but he's getting on base at a 600 clip. So he's being productive where he needs to be productive, and that's everywhere in the lineup.
Seberg on second. 2 outs, and here's the 1-0. Foul territory. It looks like it will drift in play. Catch cannot be made nonetheless by Christian Alter. I thought for sure that ball was going over the screen, but you mentioned it. Wind blowing out to left definitely played a part in that.
Yeah, it definitely pushed the ball back into play, and it looked like Dane Chalk had a chance at it, but he seemed to get caught up on the warning track, fell to his knee. Second baseman had to range all the way over and still nearly made the play. A little bit of a break, some second life here for Taxi.
The future UIC Flame pitcher awaits the 1-1. Fielded cleanly by Ramirez, and there's out number 3. So a runner in scoring position for the Trojans will not get home. The score stays at 2-1. Be right back here on Schwa Media Sports. Back here for the bottom of the second on Schwa Media Sports, should I say. Christian Alter leads off. Stowasser on deck. Dane Chalk in the hole. Crystal Lake South cut into the deficit the past inning. Number 11, Caden Norman, pitching to number 11, Christian Alter. And it starts with a ball one. Now Alter hard on the ground to second. Barnes to Iverson, cannot make the play, and now Alter's going to quickly turn for second. Clapping his hands as he reaches second base. And already tying run is in scoring position.
I mean, that error is going to be given to Barnes, but that play should have been made over at first base. It was a little bit of a difficult one, but he seemed to stretch just a tad too early. You know, ball got to the base in plenty of time, just an overcompensation on fear for the runner hustling down the line.
We talked about during the break, none of the 3 runs have been earned yet by Norman or Deloach. That one would be most likely the same case too. Score at E4, and now here's Stowasser as Norman steps off the bump.
Definitely starting to hear Crystal Lake South, their dugout getting a little bit louder here. They weren't into the game, it seemed, as much as they should have been in that first inning.
100% agree, especially compared to that Trojan dugout in the top of the first. Louder than anybody here. Bunch shown. Was able to pull it back in time. Stowasser, just a sophomore dual sport athlete, key piece in the 30-win Crystal Lake South Hoops season. Making the quick transition to baseball as he fouls this bunt back.
Not getting out in front of that barrel enough, not getting the barrel out in front of the plate enough, I should say, rather. I mean, you could see the first baseman is busting down the line. He already knows the bunt is coming. They can see it. He's squaring around nice and early. Having a little trouble understanding the signs. You know, that's not going to make the head coach happy.
One. Line straight to short, diving play back to the bag, and he got him! Unassisted double play, Peyton Seberg.
Outstanding diving play from Seberg. Take a look at this replay here. He just cuts over, makes the play, and dives towards the bag, able to get him on the back of the left leg. Makes it look nonchalant out there. Huge play for Cary-Grove to eliminate the runner in scoring position. And I can tell you, from a pitcher's perspective, Norman feels a huge weight off his shoulders. I mean, that's called picking up your pitcher. He gave up, you know, it was an error. It wasn't even the pitcher's fault. He's probably still upset about it. That's a way to regain your pitcher's trust in your defense.
And the next play right out to first base, another line out. And Crystal Lake South, who's on the brink of tying this game, has a line-out double play to Peyton Seberg, and then a line-out to Iverson. How quickly tables can turn in this sport.
Now the Cary-Grove dugout, they're enjoying it. And they get to go back to the top of the order to see if they could get some offense rolling.
Cary-Grove has batted all 9 back to the top of the order, starting with Jacob Duvall. After 3 runs in the first between these two, we have a scoreless second inning. Winner to take on DePaul Prep or St. Patrick. After today, just 8 teams left in Class 3A. One of these two will earn that achievement. Fun game so far, 2-1 Cary-Grove. And now here's Duvall inside the batter's box.
And speaking on that St. Patrick DePaul game, still 1-0. Second inning just ended. They're roughly on pace with us.
Duval last time to the plate had that awkward error in center field by Stowasser. Made it to second base and eventually scored. Shows bunt high in the air. Lee's going to head back, but it's off the screen. Deloach has really found his rhythm ever since allowing, although they weren't earned, the first 2 runs. He's had 3 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed.
Only 36 pitches so far as well. Keeping it fairly efficient after what seemed to be an inefficient first inning.
Forgive me for not knowing the total pitch count that Mark Poclo went through, but I believe it was, Sam, correct me, sub 70 perhaps. It was in, you say 70? Oh, he had 68, so yeah, it was sub 70.
I mean, that's the close you could get to a high school equivalent of a Maddox game out there.
That is just crazy. It's less than 10 pitches an inning. Out into right center. Moving on, it is Sullivan. Cannot get it. It will 2-hop to the wall. Duval headed for third. Althor's throw not in time. And Jacob Duval on base once again, just 90 feet from home this time.
Leadoff triple. He smoked that ball out into the right field gap. Long run all the way to the warning track. And he turned on the Jets right as he crossed around first base. He was thinking 3 all the way from that point on. Didn't even need to take a look at his third base coach. He knew he was going to get there. And it was a pretty efficient relay, too.
McHenry County College can tell they're getting a gift next year. Duval in with a triple, trying to double the Trojan lead. Deloach fires, first pitch outside.
Infield playing in for the Gators. They're trying to cut down any potential run here.
Cary-Grove hitting a lot harder than last game. 3 of their 7 hits against Prairie Ridge did not even leave the infield.
Yeah. Taxi had a bunt single. That was huge for them.
Just about the opposite here in the sectional championship. 3-0 is a 4-pitch walk. Keenan Krish adds on a runner, and they're on the corners.
Trainer comes out for Duval. Looks like he's got a cut on his arm. So we'll have a brief pause in the action, and that possibly gives some time for Lee to go talk out to his pitcher, say, hey, let's settle down here. That's 4 straight pitches, 4 walks after the leadoff triple. Sometimes a quick breather is all you need as a pitcher.
Still 71 degrees here. Your weather check. It's going to be cloudy the rest of the day. Same situation as Thursday. Me and Sam got here, we were sunglasses on, ready for the heat, and then the clouds kind of come over and makes it a very comfortable outdoor broadcasting experience. I'm sure playing experience as well. There's a look at the other half of the bracket, the top half per se. There's Peyton, that 4 seed. You see the third team down the line. Them and Cary-Grove tied for the lowest seed. You see a lot of chalk, a lot of 1-2.
Yeah. I mean, typically your 1-2 are going to be matching up all the time. Here at this bottom half, you see St. Francis, Bennett, Washington, Morris. Obviously, the game that we're keeping our eye on is DePaul versus St. Patrick. As he gets patched up there is Duval. Looks like he's got a little bit of a bandage there around his left elbow.
I'm sure if you asked him, he'd tell you it's worth it sliding into third base, should I say, for a triple.
Quite surprised, too, that he'd even get cut. I mean, they were out watering this infield for quite a while. First pitch strike. Runners on the corners with no one out.
Just talked about how nice this weather is. Now the wind starts to pick up, of course. 0-1 from Deloach. It's inside.
Have to wonder if the Trojans are thinking about running another first and third play here.
Well, it didn't work last time. That was Iverson who got caught at home. Ricky Barnes was the one who created the pickle.
I mean, I could see a delayed steal. I mean, we've already seen Lee make one throwing error from behind the dish. Delayed steal could throw him off completely and airmail the ball into center field.
This one foul to the right.
He was sitting fastball there. He was late on that curveball.
And that lefty, Deloach, has a direct view at first base. So as much as he tries to avoid it, you assume that runner's still in the corner of his eye. 1-2, runner goes, and here comes that pickle attempt again. Instead, it gets away from the first baseman, throw home not in time, and Cary-Grove has another awkward run scored.
Again, that's going to be an error charged to Deloach here. So we took a look at this replay. It just bounces in and out of the first baseman's mitt. I said it earlier for Cary-Grove. Error is going to go to the second baseman, went to Barnes. Should have been caught, play made by the first baseman. Same thing here. Error will go to Deloach, but that's Dane Chalk's error all day.
And now it's 3-1 Cary-Grove.
I mean, they set it up perfectly. They picked him off. He went on first move, so clearly what they were running there was first move, you got to break for the bag. Didn't work out in the first inning, didn't work out here. Another late time called. Very late granted by the home plate umpire.
Second time we've seen that. So Christian out to second off an error. Duval was able to advance home, no sweat there, at least compared to last time. Brock Iverson, leukemia survivor, fought his battle 10 years ago, takes high ball 2. Got some action in the Crystal Lake South bullpen. Get you that number momentarily.
It's Michael Silvius.
Thank you.
The right-handed pitcher.
2-2 with no outs. Just a tad low.
Sophomore pitcher as well.
That was Deloach looking for strikeout number 4 there. But now the count is full with a runner in scoring position. That is Krish.
I mean, I'd have to assume head coach Brian Bogda was not looking to go to the bullpen this early in this game.
Here comes. On the ground to third. Ramirez fields it cleanly. Stutters throws to first in time. Well played to hold Krish at second base as well. Runner stays, 1 out now. Here is Ricky Barnes. Calls for time.
And some good news for Brian Bogda is that his incoming righty does have a 2-seam. You know, you're probably trying to stay away from these left-handed hitters right now. That's why they went the lefty-lefty matchup too, because you can bust them inside, and it's just different than a righty trying to bust a lefty inside. So having a right-handed pitcher with a 2-seam fastball, exactly what you want. They're setting up their bullpen in the best possible way.
Nice job there by Lee. That ball was well in the dirt and outside. One out.
That one missed just a little upstairs. Deloche has really just been working kind of all around the zone, even on a lot of his strikeouts. He's getting swing and misses on the high fastball. Has not been very consistent at throwing strikes.
Swung on and missed there by Barnes.
I mean, so far through 53 pitches, he's thrown 28 strikes. So while that's just a tad over 50%, really you want to be somewhere in the 60 and probably even up to 70% strikes.
That one gets through Lee this time. Between his legs, picks it up off the back, and he is safe at third. Another bizarre sequence. It looked like for sure Keenan Krish had his base, but a fortunate bounce came right back to the bare right hand of Jackson Lee. Just couldn't make the throw in time.
I mean, give a pass ball to Jackson Lee. They gave, interesting to see as I see it come across Game Changer, they gave that a wild pitch to Devin Deloche.
This one fouled to the right. Count now full. Well, either way, Krish gets to second on an error, gets to third on what is scored as a wild pitch. And here's the full count with one out. Barnes fouls it back. Still going here. Oscar Freund on deck. Barnes singled in the first. Try and get a base knock here. Instead, he'll get his base on balls. He'll take that too. How many times have we had runners on the corners?
It's the third time so far.
Every time. And here's Freund, who struck out swinging in the first. He was the final out of that two-run first inning for Cary-Grove. He's got a chance to drive in at least a run here. Swings at high heat. Check back to first by Deloche, the junior. Going against Freund, the right fielder. Only position player to be a junior, disregarding Caden Norman, who has looked impressive on the bump today for Cary-Grove. Deloche trying to gain his rhythm back. He's looked hot and cold. And here comes the 0-1. Just there on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, there's the delayed steal. Not even biting at it was Lee. He seemed a little confused at the last moment that something had even happened. So he just waits till the ball hits the glove, and then he starts to break. And he really jogged. He didn't run or sprint out at all. Second and third now.
Fouled back. Staying alive is Freund.
So the infield will come in with only one out.
Gonna be completely honest here. Totally missed that delayed steal, so thank you for calling that.
I mean, that's the point of the delayed steal, is to catch everyone off guard, catch everyone sleeping.
Look down, look up, and all of a sudden Barnes is on second. 0-2 on the way. Freund thought about it until it was outside by a good margin.
Crossing this 60-pitch threshold here through just 3 innings.
Just about to look at that. That is much more than Crystal Lake South would want, especially compared to last game. 1-2. Fouled into the mitt for the second time by Cary-Grove. And there's out number 2. Strikeout number 4 for Deloche.
Would have to imagine this is the last inning, if not the last batter for Deloche. bullpen is now empty, so means Silvius is warmed up and ready to go in at a moment's notice. See head coach Brian Bogda right at the edge of the dugout there, hoping his starter can gut through one more out.
It was this part of the order where Deloach started to get hot. First time through the order, struck out Freund, Panko, and Frangimore all back-to-back. Here's Panko, who was the middle victim. Struck out swinging, first out back in the second. 1-0 delivery. Hit out into center, backtracking is Stowasser. Lead cannot make the catch. Panko to second, another runner scores. It is 4-1 Cary-Grove.
It's a 2 RBI double there. The ball was smoked and got a little bit of help from the wind, carried just over the head of the center fielder. Cary-Grove extends their lead. It is now 5-1. 2 outs here in this third inning.
A 3-run third. Duvall, Krish, and Barnes all scoring. 8-1 Cary-Grove the last time these two teams met. It's starting to look that way all of a sudden. Frangimore batting 7th.
Frangimore had a huge sac fly for an RBI in the last game. That key part of small ball that we were talking about.
That's Francis Panko creeping off second base. 2 RBI double. After striking out the previous time, it's got to make you feel good. Now it's 0-2, 2 outs. Gators just trying to put the cap on it here after already bleeding 3.
You could see Deloach's line not as pretty as you would hope. 2 2/3, only 3 earned runs, however, due to the errors. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Nearly had number 5 there.
One, two, 2 outs. Frangimore trying to bat in another run for Cary-Grove. Here it comes. That's in there for strike 3.
Well, he went to the breaking ball in the outside corner to finish him off, finally get the third out, but damage was done. A 3-run third inning for Cary-Grove.
No kidding. Now a 4-run gap they have here in the sectional final. We'll be back for the bottom of the third in just a moment here on Schwa Media. Here we go, bottom of the third. Cary-Grove with a 3-run third inning offensively for them. And now they're trying to hold Crystal Lake South's dominant offense here in these playoffs to back-to-back scoreless innings. 19 runs in 3 games entering this game for South, but they've slowly declined. This one foul, just to the left, awkward bounce. They've scored 8 runs in a game, 7-4 for an average of 6.3. Similar average that Prairie Ridge had on their season entering that game with Cary-Grove, and Cary-Grove held them to 1.
I mean, they do it different out here, kind of more in the country setting. They hit the ball hard.
One from 11, out in the left. Letting it drop is Krish. Base knock for Shevchenko at the bottom of the order.
For the Gators, that's what you want, especially for head coach Brian Bogda. You heard him in between half innings saying, come on guys, get on base. Just 1, that's all it needs. You build up from 1. It doesn't matter that's a 4-run deficit. There's still a lot of baseball to be played here.
They just got to decide which Gators offense they want to be. The one that scored 11 runs against these Trojans back on May 9th, or the one that just had a singular back on May 12th. First pitch strike there. Back to the top of the order, Trevolini grounded out to second his first time around. And it's Shevchenko, the Elmhurst commit, off first base. In a shallow right. Catch made by Freund. He'll throw back to first. Shevchenko is safe there. Maybe a little bit closer than Shevchenko wanted that to be.
Yeah, it seemed like he sort of took too much of a secondary hop off first base there. He turned around, though, right in time, was watching the ball, kept an eye on it. You could see that there was an attempted deke out there, but nothing going there for Freund.
One out, Shevchenko still on first base. And now it's Nolan Dabrowski. You'll like this tidbit, Ryan. He's actually a AAA goalie for the Chicago Fury in hockey, which makes me think, I was talking about it last game, the Fury still play in Orland Park. That is a hike. That is incredible.
Hey, for the love of the game.
Quite the hitter here as well. Kind of check swing hit there. Double play is in play, and they have it! 6-4-3. Oh, they ruled him safe.
Yep, his foot came off the bag at the last second.
So just a fielder's choice instead.
I was going to say that was a brilliant stretch. Look at the replay here. Good flip. You can see his foot was just maybe 6 inches off the bag as he tried to make the long stretch. Just couldn't stay on the base. So like you said, a fielder's choice, 2 outs now. Nearly a double play. I mean, it was a weird swing. It was a checked swing, got the barrel of the bat, and you would have to imagine if he fully swung through that one, that's a line drive into the left field gap. Probably a run scores too.
Yeah, it is going directly into the gap if he just follows through. Now it's Norman trying to get another scoreless inning. 2 outs with the runner on first. Norman fires the 1-0. Foul strike 2.
Ooh, he took some off there right there. That was absolutely the changeup.
Ramirez, the only run scored for the Gators, singled and then made his way all around. Instead of the 1-1, we get pickoff attempt at first.
This Crystal Lake South team can run, so we've seen Norman throw a lot of pickoff attempts to first base. Not necessarily anything too close, and we haven't really seen Crystal Lake try to run yet.
No stolen bases yet for them. They're going to throw back. That's over the reach of Iverson. Dabrowski's in the second.
I mean, that back pick, for whatever reason, just didn't have any velocity towards it. He just airmailed it. I've already seen both catchers now, that means, make a throwing error here.
Two-one with now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. 2-2. Sun is back out behind us. This is an important 2-2 coming to Yandel Ramirez. Trying to cut into the deficit with a base hit knock. Dabrowski's dancing from second. And that pitch is outside. The count is now full. The senior Ramirez waits the full count pitch. Runner goes. Ball 4 and a stolen bag.
I don't think head coach Kyle Williams is going to be a big fan of his catcher making that throw. Very confusing. He went down to his knee to stop the 4th ball, but he just kind of, from one knee, sidearm flung it. I'm not a fan as a former catcher of doing that. I know I've done that in certain scenarios where it calls for that. But in a situation like that, you try to avoid doing that to third, especially one batter after you threw an error out into right field. When you throw an error out into left field, that's a run right there.
Yandel Ramirez now between these 2 sectional games, the one on Thursday against St. Viator and now so far in this one, 3 for 4 with 2 walks.
Yeah, that's it. That's the first walk for Norman. Does not yet have a strikeout.
And Sullivan takes this one out deep to left, and it is left of the foul pole. That would have been gone. A scorcher off the bat. It did not get high, but boy, did it travel.
Yeah, that ball was targeted for the bush out there behind left field. He just was a little bit out in front of it. Probably the best swing we have seen from a Gator this afternoon. And just missed, making it a 1-run game. Probably outside the pole by, I'd say, 8 to 10 feet.
0-1 with 2 outs. It is ball 1. 2, pardon me. Check back to first. That one bobbles out of the glove of Oberwise. Or sorry, not Oberwise, but Iverson, thinking of the first baseman from St. Viator.
It's 1-2.
Two. Count now full. Pardon me, now it's 2-2.
2s across the board, 2 men on base. Not the second inning, and not a 2-run game. But you get the idea.
It's an important pitch, no doubt about it, and here it comes. Runner goes, Sullivan out to center. And Duvall's got it this time around. A big catch made. Would have scored at least one if he had not made that catch like prior. We're now 3 innings down, 4 to go, and it's a 4-run lead for the Trojans of Cary-Grove. We'll see you in a moment on Schwa Media.
Welcome back here for the top of the 4th inning between the Crystal Lake South Gators and the Cary-Grove Trojans. A 5-1 Cary-Grove lead as Michael Silvius, the right-handed pitcher, comes in. Only has a third of an inning this postseason. Seems to have an electric fastball as he pumps that one in for strike 1. Class of 2027. Don't have any PBR stats on him. He's listed as a newcomer to watch, however.
Yeah, he's on the 3A watch list.
Has kind of what I would call a stereotypical middle reliever's wind-up.
1-1 from Silvius is lined into left. That's a base knock. As Seberg, who already doubled, now has a single.
Roughly the same tick and velocity, it looks from my vantage point, at least up here. But Cary-Grove might get the bats rolling even hotter, you know, facing a righty now. They are kind of a lefty-heavy lineup, too. So which is clearly why the Gators went with a left-handed starter.
Runner goes Seberg, who leads his team in stolen bases. Will not get one there. He's caught.
Oh, he was gunned by a good 2 feet, too. He got a really late break as you take a look at this replay here. Yeah, got a really late break. The ball was there 2 feet in front of him. Great toss from behind the plate from Jackson Lee.
I was in there for a strike as well.
Lee redeeming himself earlier from that throwing error. I mean, clearly he had the arm strength the way he airmailed that ball 40 feet into the outfield.
Coming fresh into a game as a reliever in a playoff game, what do you get just emotionally out of a play like that?
Oh, you get fired up. I mean, especially you gave up a leadoff single.
Exactly.
You start to doubt yourself, especially, I mean, he's a young kid. I mean, he's got a lot of time left to play varsity baseball. And like we said, only 1/3 of an inning pitched this postseason. So there's no experience there. So a lot of these early years, yes, it's great for experience down the line, but in the here and now, it can be a little bit of tough goings. And to get an out like that from your teammates, it fires you up and it locks you back in, and you're essentially starting 0-0 again.
2-2 to Taxi was inside, but put right back towards Silvius, and he'll make the play.
Little PFP there, too. He's getting everything, getting thrown to the fire here. Leadoff single, caught stealing. Comebacker right to him. Took a little stumble off the mound, too. Fell to a knee. Got up in time to make the play. I mean, his heart's got to be racing here. He's doing a good job of keeping it locked in. I mean, he's just standing on the mound, staring down the batter.
Well, he does not have an easy batter to face now. Scored 2 to 5 runs and a recent triple from Jacob Duvall, future member of McHenry County College and their baseball program.
Thought about bunting down the third baseline. His third baseman was playing off the bag. Now he moves in after seeing the little half bunt attempt.
2-0 is into the gap in left field. And Duvall, another knock. 2 for 2, alongside reaching on an error and eventually scoring. Keenan Krish. Left fielder takes ball 1. Silvius, the sophomore, trying to get the Gators back to the bats. There's strike 1. Only the second time in these playoffs that Crystal Lake South has allowed more than 1 run in a game. And this one is flown high into shallow left field. 3 Gators pacing towards it. And the one making the catch in nice fashion is the shortstop, Carson Trevolini. So Silvius comes in and holds Cary-Grove scoreless after they pounded away in the third with a 3-run third inning. Now can the Gators bounce back offensively? We'll see in a moment here on Schwa Media. Welcome back. Time for bottom of the 4th. And an unfamiliar face steps in. Or pardon me, that's just Jackson Lee.
Is that Jackson?
That'll happen. I was like, who's 24? I was like, I looked down my sheet. I was like, oh, uh-oh. Shallow left. A little bit of a late reaction from Krish, but he makes the catch on the first pitch.
Caden Norman has been strong so far, despite not having a strikeout yet. Only has 1 walk, and he's really not getting hit too hard at all either. And so far, he's only given up 2 hits, stifling this otherwise potent Gators offense.
Arizona Christian commit Christian Arthur takes strike 1.
He reached on an error in the 2nd inning.
Eventually made his way to second base. And he puts this one opposite side into left field, and that's down for a base hit. Alter thinks about it, now goes for second. And he's in there with a double. A spark much needed.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first extra base hit of the afternoon for the Gators.
Yep. Cary-Grove, 2 doubles and a triple on their end. Now here's Stowasser. Norman fires. Just outside. One out. Swinging hard and missing was Stowasser. Got some joker laughs coming from the Cary-Grove dugout.
Iconic laugh. Good teammate of mine, Will Hickey, was the master of that laugh. You know Will well.
Harper Hawks legend. Soon to be Ryan Contreras Betts as well. Shirley. Pitcher to my right, Ryan Contreras Betts, played at Hersey High School. Familiar with some of these teams. As Norman checks back to second, that was a close call, and second baseman Ricky Barnes was yelling, got him, but just was not there in time. It was close nonetheless.
I mean, that was a perfect jump back throw, you know, right on top of the bag and a perfect tag from Barnes. You know, he's creeping more from the top of the bag rather than the side from the second base position. So, you know, it turns into more of a shift because, you know, if you poke one to the right side, there's a lot more room for that ball to get through. And a single right here probably scores a run.
Barnes creeps back. You mentioned how he was right near second base. When that pitch is thrown, he goes back to that second base spot. So it does look like a shift, but Cary-Grove is trying not to make it one when the ball's in play. 2-2, 1 out. Alter's on second base, and Stowasser at the plate awaits the 2-2. Puts it on the ground right to third. And it is a 5-3 ground out, picked well by Iverson.
I mean, I think what's really been key here for Newman, he's throwing not too many pitches, and he is throwing them for strikes. 48 pitches, 30 of them for strikes. I'll see if I could find the first pitch strike information, which this one's not available. I know sometimes we can get those, but I would have to say he's probably at over 60% first pitch strike, which definitely makes Kyle Williams pleased in that dugout.
In the left field now by Dane Chalk, the first baseman, and that will do it. A run to start for Crystal Lake South in the first inning. Since then, they have been silent. Their season on the line, and still 3 innings to go as they trail by 4 here on Schwa Media Sports.
Welcome back here for the top of the 5th inning between the Crystal Lake South Gators and Cary-Grove Trojans. You've heard me so far today. I'm Ryan Contreras-Betts. Luke Jordan is taking a brief respite, a la Pat Hughes in the 5th inning of most Cubs games on 670 The Score. Think of me as the Zach Zaidman, but depending on your thoughts on Zach Zaidman, maybe think higher of me. Michael Silvius comes in and throws a first pitch fastball for a strike. Seemed to be on the outside corner. Home plate umpire gave it to him. Some good framework there behind the plate from Jackson Lee. Second pitch is smoked into the gap. It's a base hit. Rounding the bag at first hard and stopping there. It's a leadoff single for the Trojans. And Iverson continues his hot hitting. Second base hit of the day for him. Ricky Barnes steps in. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, also has a stolen base. He bunts one down the first base line. It's going to be a beautiful sac bunt as he's tagged out, but he does the job moving up the runner. So that's the first out of the inning. Now stepping up to the plate is Oscar Freund. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts in this one. First pitch downstairs. 5-1 game. Cary-Grove leads, looking to add on more here. Fouled out of play. Outfield shaded slightly to the left in center field. Wind still blowing pretty consistently out to left field. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 2. Silvius had an eventful first inning of work, but escaped fairly clean. Gave up a leadoff single before caught stealing. Comebacker and then a line out. This ball is fouled down the right field line. In play and making the catch is first baseman for the first out, or the second out, my apologies. Silvius winds and fires. Downstairs again. Penko hit a ringing double in the third inning. Awaits the 1-0. Runner goes. This ball's fouled back onto the football field. As you can see, Luke Jordan arriving with hot dogs. Send him on a little errand as well. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 gone. Runner on second base here in the top of the 5th inning. Fastball is fouled back again.
Were you guys exposing me? Was I on there? Of course I was.
Surely you
Hey, that
was.
hot dog was for Sam, by the way. Let's get one thing straight.
You forgot to get me one.
You didn't text me.
Actually, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. A little bit of a mistake there from Luke Jordan, but
Rare chemistry error between me and RCB.
well, we'll do it again as there's another 1-2 foul ball. Good battle here. Short lead off second base. Second baseman creeps, works back. Payoff delivery. Fouled off the mask of Jackson Lee, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, I'll probably leave your ears ringing there. It's not the first time that's happened to him either. Took a foul right off the top of the mask back in what I believe was the second inning.
Good crowd this afternoon, filling up down both the right field and left field lines. Swing, and we'll do it again. I think
Yeah.
that's 5 straight foul balls here.
Back to your point about the crowds, when I walked down there, there's a lot more people than you'd think, too, because they're hidden behind the dugout on both sides. There's a good sea of navy blue, especially to the right. I believe they have their own student section in that bleacher right to the right of the dugout. Great job by Panko here to stay alive.
The battle between Panko and Silvius. Looking to add another chapter here in this at-bat. And yes, it does. Another foul tip. Lee not too happy with himself. Thought he could have squeezed that one.
That's all you're trying to do until you get a pitch that you like. Just if you're late, whatever, as long as you're making contact with that ball. Panko's doing an exceptional job at it. Sylvia still has some balls to work with as well.
6 straight foul balls for Panko.
Wow.
Back pick, not in time.
It's kind of a stutter there by Iverson. He didn't exactly dart back to the bag.
Eighth pitch of this battle. Silvius waits in for the sign, shakes off a couple of times. He's got it now. Sets at the belt and fires. This ball is low in the dirt.
Gotta give Sylvius credit too, because these foul balls by Panko have been strikes on the tip of the strike zone until that one finally gets loose and it's down in the dirt.
Wind still howling out to left. It's a beautiful hitter's day.
Especially for a righty like Panko.
Fires a ball, throw down to third, and it's in time. He gets him for the third out. Throw just beats him. The Gators get out of this one. And we will head to the bottom of the 5th inning, still 5-1. We'll be back in just a moment here on Schwa Media.
Welcome you back to Schwa Media Sports. Ryan Contreras Betts and myself, Luke Jordan. Your broadcasters today, and Sam Schwartz, the tech man. Everything you see graphics-wise, scoreboard-wise, he's doing all of that. Don't think that me and Ryan have fed in even an inch to that. That's all Sam. He does an incredible job at it. And now here we are. Caden Norman's in his 5th inning.
Caden Norman has been spectacular today. I'll just say it straight up. He has not been overpowering with strikeouts. I mean, I'm going to double check. I don't think he has a strikeout yet. Yep, still no strikeouts through 4 solid innings of work. Only 3 hits, 1 extra base hit. I mean, he is stifling the Gators offense right now. His slightly weird arm action, lots of good tail on the fastball has worked as there's a fly ball into the gap. That might be extra bases. Rounding first base, he'll end up on second base. Call it the announcer's jinx, whatever you want to call it, but the second extra base hit is a leadoff double for the Gators.
And the Elmhurst commit hitting bottom of the order for Crystal Lake South is heating up. Singled in the 3rd, that's a double here in the 5th. That is the start you need to create a rally of an inning.
I mean, no action in the Cary-Grove bullpen, really. Not that, actually, no, it seems like there's a little bit of stretching going on down there.
Yeah, sure is. First bit of action we've seen all game.
Yeah, so nothing obviously too necessary. I mean, only thrown 51 pitches so far. And like I said, he has been very effective. But something to keep an eye on, especially if the Gators offense starts to heat up at all. And they need to heat up fast. They've got 9 outs left.
3rd time through the order for Caden Norman. He checks back to second and fires the 1-0. Hit on the ground softly through the grass. Seaberg fields it, throws, and Iverson steps out, keeps his foot on the bag. And there's out number 1.
Yeah, that ball just died in the grass. It didn't seem to be hit too softly off the barrel. But the grass, which doesn't seem to be too long either, it's well maintained, flat. Haven't seen really any bad hops at all. Didn't see any when both teams were taking infield before the game.
Trifolini now 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a fly out. And now here's the lefty Nolan Dabrowski. As Caden Norman, the occasional moving off the bump. He's relied on his defense. Still not a single strikeout in this game. Bizarre to think.
Only 1 walk.
Seeing some stretching from senior Preston Walsh near the Cary-Grove bullpen.
Preston Walsh has gotten into 1 game this postseason as a pinch runner. Had a stolen base. Actually, my apologies, he's gotten into 2 games. He also came in relief of Caden Norman for 1 inning against Antioch. 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. That was a blowout, odd game to see in the playoffs. 13-3 was the final. 6 errors between the 2 teams.
Wow. How many errors total we got in this one, though? 3.
6, 3 apiece.
Oh, 3 apiece.
Yeah.
That feels right. I was like, 3? Really? Speaking of 3s, here is the 3-0 from Caden Norman. Ball 4, and Dabrowski walks. 2 runners on the bags now for Crystal Lake South.
I mean, you talk about the errors playing a factor here. Of the 6 runs scored in this game, only 3 of them were earned, all charged to Devin Deloche. The starter for the Gators, he went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, like we said, on 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. So far, Michael Silvius has been solid. 2 innings, 3 hits, 0s everywhere else. And as you know, Caden Norman, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run, not earned, 2 walks, and no strikeouts, as he has his first mound visit of the afternoon.
Getting some taps on the shoulder, but he's going to stay in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're just trying to figure out, hey, is your arm angle off? You flying open? I mean, because he has such a weird lower than 3/4 arm slot, could be a variety of factors. I mean, his mechanics look solid though, and he comes through the zone very fluidly.
And here comes Ramirez. Yandel Ramirez looking to reach on base, or should I say get on base, for the 6th time in the last 2 games. Single and a walk so far in this one. Oh, 1. High in the air to shallow left. Catch made by Krish. And here's Liam Sullivan. We saw him kill a ball earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it just nearly missed being a home run, like we said, by 8 to 10 feet. His last time up. 2 outs here, and similar situation for him too. 2 men on the pond. I know that Brian Bogdo would love his team to scratch across at least 1 in this inning. I mean, we said in the last half inning there's a lot of baseball left to be played, but doesn't mean you kind of ease into the last third of the game. I mean, now you're facing your final 7 outs here, and you're trailing by 4. Anytime you get base runners on, you have to put them in.
So well said. I was literally just about to mention, time's flying. You're talking about 7 outs left for these Gators. And it was put into perspective by you, so thank you for that.
I mean, right, you're in the heart of your order too right now.
Yes.
I mean, this is where you want your big bats to come through. They haven't so far.
Sullivan now faces a 2-1 count. Reached on an error in the first, then flew out to center in the third.
Walsh is starting to throw, just lightly playing catch, but something to note.
2-1 fouled back. When Sullivan flew out to center, he had runners on the corners. He's not trying to strand another 2, because he was the last out in that third inning. Another big-time position for the Loras College commit. And heck, you just never know if it could be your last at-bat in high school baseball. Big 2-2. Norman steps off the bump.
It's another great point to think about. You know, you have to take each of these at-bats in the playoffs as a senior. I mean, you have to take them as if they're going to be your last. So you've got to put a little bit of pressure on yourself, and you have to come through despite the pressure.
Shevchenko on second, Dabrowski on first. 2-2 off speed, flown into shallow right on the move is Iverson, and he makes the grab. Crystal Lake South strands another 2.
Great over-the-shoulder catch into shallow right field. Turned around a handful of times, but Iverson was able to make the grab.
And now, Crystal Lake South needs 4 runs and 6 outs, but they also have to prevent Cary-Grove from anything more. We'll see how that goes. Top of the 6th coming up next on Schwa Media. So here we go. Francis Panko stepping in the top of the 6th inning. 5-1 lead for Cary-Grove. First pitch swinging high into the edge of the grass. Trevelini's got it.
Had a little trouble with that one. He had to reach behind him to make the play. Ball was definitely drifting due to the wind.
Yep, that wind still buzzing out to left field.
One thing that I always had trouble with, typically, I don't like to give myself too much credit, but I feel like I was able to do most things well on the ball field, but for whatever, thanks for that little vote of confidence there. No.
Go ahead.
Pop-ups, they're hard to practice too. And always the worst days when you have to practice them are on like the clear blue skies, wind is howling, and we spent hours practicing those pop-ups sometimes.
Frangemore takes strike 1. It's still Michael Silvius dealing for Crystal Lake South as his pitch is taken deep to left field. Shevchenko moving back, and that's off the wall. Frangemore moving to second where he's in with the standing double. That was the closest in these sectional semifinals we've seen to what could be a home run.
That ball hit right above the S sign out there in the 2014 IHSA 4th place marking. Probably hit that ball about 370 feet. Another 5 to 10 feet, and that ball is out of here.
Talked about how it was a hitter's day, especially for righties, and you have to know Frangemore's hit definitely carried. Now he's in a second with a big double. Peyton Seberg now takes high ball 1. That 2014 IHSA 4th place, not from either of these two teams. We're playing here at Grays Lake Central, host of the sectional. Not too far of an adventure for either team, though. Got Crystal Lake just a tad west of here, Cary just south below there.
And this is an absolutely beautiful ball field and really a beautiful complex, if I will say so myself.
It's awesome.
Seems they're doing some renovations on the tennis courts to our left.
1-0. Shallow center. Right fielder moves in instead. Sullivan makes the catch for out number 2. And now it's Charlie Taxi.
Taxi's been quiet today. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts.
Grounded out to third in the second. Then went.
Comebacker.
Yeah,
back to this same pitcher.
That's one of the first batters that Silvius faced. Lee was able to keep that ball from getting away. Crystal Lake South looking for 3 scoreless innings against Cary-Grove. They just got to find something offensively. Jack of all trades, Taxi awaits the 1-1. Fouled right onto the mask of Lee again. It's the 3rd time he's been hit in the head. Just wearing him and moving right back to his spot. So that's a 1-0 final. St. Patrick defeats DePaul Prep. Heard well from our public address announcer down to our left. So a winner of this game has the Shamrocks in what would be the state quarterfinal or the super sectional.
That one at Wintrust Field in Schaumburg, home of the Schaumburg Boomers of the Frontier League. And you could hear it from all across the ballpark. What a pitch, and that was a beautifully placed pitch. Called a ball.
Had to have been right on the outside line. 2-2, 2 outs. Silvius desperately needing this K, and Taxi will stay live. Onto the track this baseball goes. So we'll try 2-2 again. Frangemore on second. Ready to move on any contact. Silvius deals. High. And the count is full. Full count, 2 outs.
Yeah, run was scored in the top of the first inning in that St. Patrick DePaul game. So I'm just taking a look here.
Taxi looks to be foul territory. It's right at the screen, and instead it drifts back in, and Lee makes the grab. That's that wind again, and it helps the Gators out this time as they make Cary-Grove strand a runner in scoring position. It's still 5-1, but now you're working with 6 outs and 4 runs needed. It's going to be an intense finish here on Schwa Media. Bottom of the 6th inning, Gators in crunch time, and Caden Norman enters inning number 6. He's already 5 through, and how about those stats, Ryan?
Yeah, through 5, 4 hits allowed, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, no strikeouts. It's been the most fascinating part of his game. He has really been pitching like Greg Maddox out there. Lots of soft contact right at fielders. I mean, he's spotting up his corners. Like I said, only 2 walks. He's majority strikes. He's walked a few more, but he's sitting at 64 pitches, 38 of them 4 strikes. So he's been doing his job.
Yeah, seems to be opposite styles between him and Devin Deloach, the Crystal Lake South starters. This one is hammered foul. Deloach is kind of a hit-or-miss guy. He had 5 strikeouts, but some of those balls were taken into deep territory. As well as Silvius, who had that hit by Frangemore, hit the wall.
I mean, Deloach, it's not that he pitched bad per se. There was a little bit of poor luck involved with some errors. But, I mean, the arm talent was clearly there. And, you know, he's class of 26. He still has 1 more year to go.
This one flown into the gap. He's got his first hit of the game. There's that leadoff hit again. Now you just got to convert it into something.
So watch the pinch runner coming in here.
Should be a courtesy, I believe.
Why would it be a courtesy?
Catcher.
Was that Lee that just got on?
Yes.
I thought I saw the wrong number. My apologies there. So yeah, you're right. Courtesy runner. It's Michael Rathjen.
He's coming for Lee in that pass game as well. Great game that Jackson Lee had against St. Viator. 1 and 2 with the sacrifice fly. Had a 2 RBI knock, and then that sac fly gave him 3 RBIs. 3 of the 4 batted in by the catcher of the Gators. is on the base for the first time in this one.
I mean, that's what you get with your courtesy runner at the high school and college level. You get almost a designated runner, usually one of your best base runners. Those of you baseball historians would know, look up Herb Washington of the Oakland Athletics. The only true designated runner in baseball history.
In a right. Freund tracks it down. Now you need 4 runs in 5 outs.
First sign of frustration you see there, we'll say great sportsmanship, not too many bat slams. I can't pretend that I haven't had my share of moments in my time. But, Crystal Lake South has kept their poise throughout the entirety of this game, but as time starts to tick down, wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more frustration creep in.
We saw Preston Walsh stretching earlier. Now he is throwing full-speed pitches out in the Cary-Grove bullpen.
Would have to assume that he comes in solely for the 7th. I'm assuming planning to let Norman go the rest of this one, but if he gets into too much trouble, gives up a run or two maybe, then you go to Walsh.
5-1 Cary-Grove. Bottom of inning number 6. And now Stowasser fouls that one back. 0-2 count. Dane Chalk is on deck.
We've seen just about everything you can see in this ball game here in terms of scorable plays. Be fascinating to see the one that's missing, a deep fly ball that clears the fence. I know the Gators are looking for one of those right now too.
No kidding. You know what Caden Norman's looking for? His first strikeout. Got an 0-2 count here. Here comes. On the ground, softly to short. Seberg tosses to second, throw to first. Is it a double play? Yes, it is! And that's how Cary-Grove walks off the field.
And look at this replay here. Right at the shortstop, flip on to second for 1, and plenty of time to first for 2.
I thought there were 2 outs.
Smooth turn there. We head to the top of the 7th.
Against CLC. Welcome back to this broadcast here on Schwab Media. In from shortstop is Carson Trivellini, the sophomore who can just about do it all. He closed out the 6th and 7th inning against Crystal Lake Central in that comeback win that got Crystal Lake South to the sectional semifinal. And his job here, keep the score where it is. Try to give Crystal Lake South a chance in the bottom of the 7th.
Silvius moves over to third base after a very solid relief outing from him. 3 innings, 4 hits, didn't allow any runs, no walks, no strikeouts.
As Duval in the center, Stowasser can't get there in time, and it's another leadoff hit for Duval. 3 for 3 alongside reaching on an error.
He came to play today.
An error goes against your at-bats. Sorry.
We're going to check back to Duval. They'll do it again. No limit here in high school or college. You can do it as much as you want. Bunt shown, taken back. There's ball 1. From your memory, what's the time there's just been a standoff with pickoffs? Any crazy moments?
I could think of a few. I could think of one against Buffalo Grove. They had one pitcher. He threw over 9 times in a row.
In a row?
Yeah.
Well, there's third in a row, technically. Third of the AB, should I say. As there was a ball in between those. But just pick off, like...
Yeah.
Wow.
2 of the times the guy hadn't even left the base yet. It was our fastest runner. Current Miami, Ohio player, Drew Phillips. Kid is wicked fast.
2-0 now on Krish. There's another one. Funny thing is, Duval hasn't truly stolen yet.
Doesn't even have that big of a lead either.
Trivellini. Now in a 3-0 count. Gave a base hit to Duval. Trying not to allow a base on balls to Krish. 3-0. Outside. Krish earns his 2nd walk of the game. Talk about a good eye. That'll advance Duval to 2nd. And now Brock Iverson. Cary-Grove in a good position to add on. Just trying to build the cushion on one of their rivals. How about that Fox Valley Conference? These are the 4th and 5th best teams by record. It's just crazy to think. You know, 7 out of the 10 Fox Valley Conference teams won their region.
Wow.
7 out of 10. Sensational.
I mean, that's what you call a strong conference right there.
Now we're seeing some parity this year. It was Huntley's conference for the previous 7 years. Not this time around.
I mean, if you ask a lot of people in and around the game of baseball, they would say the talent level has never been higher right now.
Out into right center. This is over the head of Sullivan. Coming home is Duval alongside Krish, and 2 runners score. It's 7-1. Two RBI double from Brock Iverson.
Brock Iverson, that's his 3rd hit of the game, too. Cary-Grove also has another arm warming up down in the bullpen. If my eyes are not mistaken, that might be Klimek? Had a read on the number for a moment.
Into right now, Sullivan near the track makes the grab. Tag up from 2nd as Iverson will make his way 90 feet away from home plate.
gonna be honest, if the wind was not blowing out to left field, that ball is gone right there. Pushed him all the way back to the warning track. He pieced that one really well.
That was Barnes, now here's Freund.
Infield plays in. They can't afford to give up any more runs. I mean, they have 3 outs to go, and they're now trailing by 6.
Cary-Grove bullpen now. Leaves the area, comes back into the dugout. Still expected to be Preston Walsh, who's been stretching as of 2 innings ago. They've been making sure he's going to be ready, and now they're going to bring another pitcher out there just in case as well, and that is...
They're sending Duval out there to just loosen up, I'm sure.
He was one of the 2 runners that just scored. Duval, as a base runner, has scored 3 of the 7 runs for Cary-Grove. Now they might even have him pitch to close out the game. You want to have one ready just in case all goes wrong, so as Sullivan makes this grab, tag upcoming. Throw to the plate is offline, and Lee still makes the tag. He got him!
You could see the confusion there. Iverson might not have been touched. He kind of shrugs his shoulders, seeming to say he never got tagged. Ball definitely beat him in time. But either way, that'll be the end of the inning here. Little discussion, you know, not arguing too heavily. Out there's Kyle Williams, but he's definitely asking, saying, hey, what'd you see there? You know, I get the score of the game, but...
You know, as a coach or a team, you're never supposed to settle in really any sport, but I think you can be satisfied and rely on your pitching. That's allowed 1 run in 6 innings to not allow 6 here. But you just never know. It's about as baseball can get. 11-1, Crystal Lake South won the first battle between these 2 teams. And then 3 days later along the week, it was Cary-Grove winning 8-1. So it was kind of just a flip of the coin on who was going to get out in front and maintain it. And it's been Cary-Grove ever since that first inning. They led 2-1 until the top of the 3rd. 3-run 3rd inning gave them that 5-1 lead. We've been scoreless since up until then, where it was a 2-run RBI double by Brock Iverson.
And Norman will head back out there. Caden Norman might be given a chance to finish this one out. This has been his gem that he has pitched thus far.
Have seen a lot of complete games in this sectional. Caden Norman trying to add himself onto the list. Did not get to do such last time around.
They do have an arm warming up down in the pen, but I think that's, at this point, it's absolutely more for insurance purposes. Norman's only thrown 74 pitches. So his arm's still lively enough, and I mean, he has a good chance to finish out one of the more well-pitched games I've seen in a long time, but it's also an interesting one. Like we said, no strikeouts thus far. He's just placed the pitches perfectly where they need to be. Lots of soft contact where it's needed. Working out of the few jams he's gotten into. Now the last call starts for the Gators.
We'll start off with Dane Chalk. It's 8-9-1. Shevchenko, who hits 9th, is 2 for 2 though on deck. He's been hot today. They will need something out of him. And Dane Chalk, meanwhile, a line out and a fly out. Junior first baseman takes outside, ball 1. Similar location, ball 2. Caden Norman looking to go a whole game. It's not a good start here, though, in the top of the 7th.
He's definitely working off his pace. He's got to have some nerves there. He threw those 3 pitches with barely even coming set.
I was going to say, once he walks right back onto the mound, here comes another 3-0. As that one's taken for strike one. Still amazes me how he hasn't thrown a strikeout.
So Bennett defeats St. Francis.
As there's strike two.
So keep looking across the board.
Thank you, Sam. And here comes full count delivery from Norman. Fouled into the mitt. There's out number one.
Not only is that his first strikeout of the afternoon, but it comes in a huge spot. He got himself in that own hole, down 3-0. Then he comes back, locks in, and fires 3 straight strikes. That last one, I mean, first one he has overpowered a batter here this afternoon, just pumps it by him.
First strikeout for Caden Norman. Yes, in the 7th inning.
Tried going to the breaking ball there. Had a lot of horizontal movement. Could see 0-0 in the 7th in the Champaign game. 10-1 Lamont in the 6th. Peyton and Simeon coming up at 3.
1-1 taken out to left field. Moving back on it is Krish, and he could not make the grab. It is in our blind spot over here. It is going to be...
No, they made the grab. You could hear the crowd reacting to that one. We lost in the blind spot, but he ranged back and made the catch.
Ball's up there for a while then, huh?
He could have ran into the fence. There's a chance there.
Not sure if our camera caught either. It is in that just one area where the press box hovers over our vision. No complaints with this view. That is just that's like the one blind spot.
Well, now we have the final call for the Gators, and Caden Norman, who has pitched fantastic. He's 3 pitches away.
Carson Trevelini, sophomore with his team season on the line, takes strike one. He could be 2 pitches away now. Heck, he could be 1. He's relied on his defense all game, and they've done their job. Norman fires the 0-1. Foul territory opposite side near the Cary-Grove students section. As the Trojan faithful alongside the dugout starting to get loud. 0-2, 2 outs. Norman to win it. High in the air. Second baseman Barnes calling for it, and the Trojans are headed to the Super Sectional.
Caden Norman, a complete game. It only took him 86 pitches to do so. Only needed 1 strikeout, but an absolute gem, and the Trojans will play at Wintrust.
A superb performance from Norman and company. And boy, were the bats flying on the other end. 3 multi-run innings for Cary-Grove. That's all they needed. And in the last 2 games against Crystal Lake South, they've outscored those Gators 15-2. And they take the official rubber match per se as well. That's got to feel good as well. After losing to this team by 10 to start. There's a chance these Trojans could be the only 4 seed in 3A if Peyton does not win. Nothing to hang your head about if you're Crystal Lake South Gators. Well, it's a solid season. They'll finish with an overall record of 25-13. as 18th year head coach Brian Bogda will make his way out towards his guys. They have to be feeling a course of emotions. And there's the lifting of another plake for Cary-Grove. They'll try for even more down the line. Here, it's time to put my buddy on the spot. Start of the game.
Start of the game easy. It's Caden Norman. He a complete game. Obviously, I'm going to be a little biased towards the pitchers.
Of course.
I've got love for them. He pitched phenomenally. I mean, he used his 3-pitch mix to absolute perfection, hitting his spots every time he needed to, getting the soft contact he needed. He did not need to rely on overpowering stuff. He just got the job done, went the distance, saved some bullpen arms for Wintrust on Monday, and Cary-Grove gets to walk away victorious.
So you heard it there. Cary-Grove and St. Patrick will be playing in the Super Sectional, the Elite 8 per se, down in Schaumburg, Illinois, home of the Boomers. You can find more information on IHSA.org, the bracket, the broadcast, you name it all. It's been one heck of a run here on Schwa Media, and I'd like to thank Sam Schwartz for bringing us on. It's been a blast. Love calling baseball, love having a guy who knows baseball 17 times better than me. This has been Ryan Contreras-Betts, Sam Schwartz, the techie guy, doing it all. And my name is Luke Jordan, signing off from the Grays Lake Sectional. The final score, once again, Cary-Grove with 7 and Crystal Lake South with 1. Congratulations to the Trojans on winning the sectional championship. Nice.